We return to our top story on the refreshed master plan for disability sports. It includes a makeover to public sporting facilities to make them more accessible. Persons with disabilities say this goes a long way in enticing them to be more active. And to help them along, there'll be more coaches in disability sports in the coming years. Muhammad Bahajjaj has more.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Chua. The 29-year-old used to be a lifeguard, but a genetic brain disorder affected his body movements. Since he started going for weekly swim classes last year, his mobility has been improving. He aims to get better and fitter by making his own waves.
When I feel like I'm a person of myself, because I do not need anyone's help. Inside the pool, I can move on my own.
He can enjoy his swim thanks to accessible facilities such as this pool ramp and aquatic wheelchair. 8 active SG swimming pools have these. 2 more will be retrofitted by 2025. The number of coaches in disability sports will more than double to 300 by 2030. And there's not just an increase in quantity, but quality as well.
It's getting better now, so we're getting courses coming in and to help us to understand how do you handle different athletes, different kind of unique physical disability you have, and also you must also understand not all people are going to be coming looking for competitive. Some are just going to come to learn to swim.
He says that coaches will also need to come in with an open mind and a positive attitude to help each individual.
I hope that every child with disability will be able to access the same opportunities as their peers. You will be able to go to a school that recognizes your talent in sports besides your academics. You will be able to find a company that will accept you as a staff, and help you foster bonds with your colleagues through sports.
Alongside the refreshed master plan, 2 committees will be set up. One will gather more feedback and the other will coordinate across agencies and work through obstacles.
And for more on the Disability Sports Master Plan, we're now joined by Chua, Senior Parliamentary Secretary for Culture, Community and Youth, and Kelly Fan, whom you've just heard from in the previous story. Welcome both to the studio.
Thanks very much, Chua, for having us.
Mr. Chua, let's start with you.
Sure.
This is an ambitious action plan to give a big boost to para sports. Tell us what motivates this plan, and are there any missing opportunities or gaps that you are seeing?
Well, actually, we're not starting from ground zero. Actually, the first Disability Sport Master Plan was launched in 2016. And since then, we have built on coaching capabilities. We have increased the number of inclusive sporting facilities in our communities. We have also enhanced the accessibility of sporting opportunities for both persons with disabilities as well as for general public at large to be engaged in inclusive sport activities. So what we have done through the Enabling Sports Task Force is to do a revision of that 2016 version of the DSMP. And in this 2024 version, what we are seeking to do is to, just build on what we have done since 2016 and really, number one, improve accessibility of of persons with disabilities, of their chances of getting in touch with disability sport. At the same time, enhance awareness of disability sport as well as inclusive sport. And at the same time, if there are those who can be budding athletes to become high-performance para-athletes, we also want to help them to fuel and fulfill their ambitions and aspirations as well.
It's really in the years of making, right?
Yes.
Just consultations and a lot of discussions of this. Ms. Fan, let's take a closer look at the 3 main themes of the plan. Increase accessibility, enhance awareness, fulfill aspirations of PWDs. What are some of the key recommendations that will cover these areas?
I think one of the things is how do we bring a village together to actually support and bring together more opportunities for persons with disabilities. So we talk about, for example, existing agencies who are already conducting disability sports activities. Can they actually deepen their offerings? And how do we widen the offerings through partners? For example, through social service agencies, how do we actually help them scale up their capabilities so that they can offer disability sports programs to their clients? Right? When you talk about awareness, awareness. We want to talk about, going down to the schools. How do we scale up the capabilities of the teachers so that they can teach their students about disability sports or inclusive sports, right? And we also talk about, for example, interactions. How do we actually enhance interactions between persons with and without disabilities through affairs such as Play Inclusive Festival? Can we actually upskill those opportunities so that we can bring in more corporates, more partners to actually engage in these activities together with persons with disabilities and understand them better.
In the area of providing more opportunities, particularly interesting is the idea of unified categories, having abled and disabled athletes to compete or to train alongside one another in Pesta Sukan or national school games. How do you envisage this could actually work out in an actual sport? I mean, what are some of the desired outcomes, Mr. Chua?
I think when we talk about inclusion, we're not just talking about providing opportunities for disability sport for the community, for the persons with disabilities community and the caregivers. It is also about general public, starting off, having opportunities to take part in sport together with persons with disabilities. And I think the method is really to go upstream, to start young, which is why one of the measures, one of the 10 strategic moves that we're making in the Disability Sport Master Plan 2024 is to reach out to all MOE schools, all 340 MOE schools, to have access, to offer access to existing students in mainstream schools the opportunity to take part in either disability sport or inclusive sport. I mean, I draw from my own experience. I played goalball. Before I put on that face mask, I thought that it would be quite easy. But when I had the face mask on, it was not easy at all because you have to listen out for where the bell is, you have to dive, and oftentimes I dive in the wrong corner. And I have to say I made a complete fool of myself in some moments. Yeah, and just 2 weeks ago, I tried my hand at, guided blindfold running. I did 500 meters. I did this with at an event that was, organized by Running Hour. I thought, again, it would be easy, but it's not. And I think what we want to do is to seed those thoughts of empathy in our young ones, start from young. And in fact, not just our young ones, anyone can also, have an experience in inclusive sport and unified sport, and then think about what life would be like if you were to be in the shoes of the person with disabilities themselves. I think that's the ultimate aim of what we want to achieve.
I think another aspect that keeps coming up is the changing of mindsets among the larger community to improve inclusivity. This is, I think quite similar to what you were talking about, what you were alluding to. But what are the challenges? How can we do better in this area, Ms. Fan?
I think first up, why is it that we focus so much about, seeding thoughts, seeding mindsets here in this master plan is exactly that. We need to shift mindsets, right? And to help the other Singaporeans understand, you can lend a hand or you can actually instill hope in certain people. So take, for example, the touch points that persons with disabilities come across, whether it is at the social service agencies that you visit for intervention services, or whether it's at the healthcare institutions where you visit for therapy, for example. If the person that you meet on the ground is able to actually lend you hope, to say that you can actually participate, engage in sport like anybody else, that actually is very powerful, in telling you that, you can live a quality life just like anybody else. And very powerful to the parents, of children with disabilities. So I think, in essence, that is what we are trying to achieve from the Disability Sports Master Plan refreshed.
I think we're definitely moving in the right direction. Thank you so much both for coming into the studio. That was Eric Chua, Senior Parliamentary Secretary for Culture, Community and Youth, and Kelly Fan, Executive Director of the Singapore Disability Sports Council.